First, let me introduce you how we play. We also have 54 cards in total with regular poker, and every card has a different function. We'll talk about each feature in the next to give you a better idea of our game. This is point and drink. As the name implies, you can pick one of the players in the game for a drink. This is robbery. This is the card that lets you steal a player's card anytime in the game. This is giving. You can give this card to any player in the game at any given time. This is attendant. This is the card that requires all the players to drink when they lose the game. Players who have an attendant card on the hand must also accompany the drink until another player draws a 2. Then they can hand over the task of drinking to another player that has a 2. This is big ball and small ball. This is the card when you say big ball and make a small ball with your hand. Say small ball and make a big ball with your hand. With constant repetition and under unexpected circumstances, then point to another player to repeat the sequences. The game ends when the player cannot repeat the action correctly. This is ping pong wa. So the first player can pick another player to say ping, and the other player has an option to say ping or pan. And the person who is pointed to bang should not do anything. The player sitting to the left and the right of the player who was pointed to bang should immediately shout out wa, so until the game ends and a person makes a mistake. This is repeat actions. The player who draws this card may use it or keep it at any time. Once the card is placed at the front, the player with the card has to do one set of action, and the last player to complete such action has to drink. The most important thing about this card is to place the card out when other players are not paying attention. Circle. This is basically 15 and 20. This is considered the most classic game in Asia. Each player only needs to put one hand out, and during the game, the player only needs to use paper or rock. The rock represents 0, and the paper is 5. The game depends on how many players are involved. For example, 7 players are involved. The maximum is 35, and the minimum is 0. When a player says out the number which matches the number outside, the game ends. The player beside the person who said the correct number will be the loser. The loser has to finish the drink before the next round. On topic. The player who draws this card has to provide a topic. For example, maybe wine type, celebrity names, subway station names. Then the player has to follow the topic and say things related to the topic. Instead, the player who cannot continue the game will be the loser and has to take a drink. Clap 7. All the players has to read out the numbers in sequence. As long as the number is a multiple of 7 or has a 7 in the number cannot be read out. And instead, the player has to clap their hands. Then the game reverses after each clap. If a player is unable to keep up, then the player will have to take a drink. This is the toilet card. The player with this card can use the bathroom, and the rest of the players has to stay in the game. But most importantly, the players can resell this card or keep it to themselves. This is crash. Players need to shout out the number in sequences, randomly starting from 1. When more than one player shouts out the same number at the same time, they will be the losers of the game. Also, the player who reads out the last number will also be the loser. Losers have to take a drink. This is idiot. If you take this card, you're considered as an idiot. The rule of this card is that other players are not supposed to talk to you. If one of the players accidentally talks to an idiot, the idiot is saved, and whoever talks to the idiot will have to take a drink, while other idiots can communicate with each other. This is everybody drinks. This is basically the card where everyone has to drink. This is last player drink. The player who draws this card has to ask the previous player to take a drink. This is battle. You can ask one player in the game to play a game with you, and the loser has to drink. Next player drink. The player who draws this card has to ask the next player to take a drink. This is you drink. Player who draws this card first has to take a drink. The player has an option to choose whether or not they would want to add a rule to the next person who draws the next king. This is stupid paper, scissors, rock. All players has to join the game of rock, paper, scissors. If the player calls out scissors and give out scissors, then the player will be the loser. The point of this game is not to call out the same action as your hands, then the loser has to take a drink. This is Joker / no drink. Player with this card can avoid one drink. Are you ready? We're waiting for you.